Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming to my YouTube channel. My name is Angela from Angela Simpson Functional Medicine, and I'm really happy to have you here so that we can discuss some of the changes that women go through when they are in that perimenopausal time of life. You're in that age where you're around the age of 40 or beyond, possibly even into your 50s now, and your hormones are starting to fluctuate and change quite a bit. And you might be noticing that one of the obvious symptoms that you are having is changes to your energy levels. So you might be feeling like tasks that you normally used to do, just everyday life tasks, never mind extra things that you might do for fun, are becoming just a bit more laborious. It's getting harder to get everything done. You're tired. You feel like you could take a nap in the afternoon, but you just don't have time. You wake up, even though you feel like you should have slept through the night. You looked at your clock at 10 at night. You looked again at 6. You should have had a full night's sleep, yet you wake up completely exhausted, foggy in the brain, feeling like you're having a hard time concentrating and focusing and just getting through your everyday life. And this is a struggle if it's happening for you day after day after day. And if you are still cycling as a female, you might notice that these symptoms become much more pronounced as you get closer and closer to your period. Very commonly, women will notice that the symptoms of fatigue and brain fog and energy, a lot of women tell me their energy just absolutely tanks as they get closer to their period. And they feel like they could just lie down for the day and take every day off work leading up to until they get their period. And this is just not a functional way to live. And so I want to let you know what I have found with women that I've worked with in my practice over many, many years as a functional medicine practitioner. And one of the things that I noticed that is absolutely common with pretty much every woman that I work with is that there are imbalances in the gut. And what I mean by this is often when there's imbalances in the gut, it means, to break it down more simply, we're not digesting and absorbing our nutrients properly. And this creates imbalances in our ability to produce energy, to sustain our energy throughout the day, and also to have that nutrition that actually fuels our brain for energy and focus. So I find this is one of the most common overlooked things as well, and that women often try to bring in better nutrition. They try to sleep better. They try and exercise a bit more, some of the basics from a lifestyle perspective. But often they end up frustrated because it doesn't seem to be working the way that it should be. They don't notice their energy starting to bounce back as they think it should, as they get more and more healthy along the way. And often the reason for this has to do with that imbalance in your gut. So how does this happen? How do we not be able to absorb our nutrients properly if we're eating a well-balanced diet? Well, what can happen over many, many years typically, this isn't something that just happens all of a sudden, is we start to have some damage to the lining in our gut. And this can happen from us bringing in various different foods. It can even happen from us having various different stressful life events. It actually adjusts and alters the pH in our stomach and our gut, and it just starts to slowly break down and damage the lining of our stomach, the lining of our intestines over time. So this is typically something that happens over years and years and years. We can sometimes be exposed to certain toxins in our foods, herbicides, pesticides. One of the most common ones, glyphosate, which can really damage this lining over time as well. So, if you are buying a lot of fruits and vegetables and, you're trying to be healthy, it really does matter the quality that you're buying, if it's organic or not, and if it's not organic, that it's really washed and cleaned well. So again, you can kind of see how over many, many years, these kinds of things could build up. Another reason that sometimes digestion and the gut lining gets damaged, the ability to absorb nutrients, can have to do with use of medications, can even have to do with past history of use of antibiotics and things like that. And this is very, very common. Most women that I work with, by the time they've gotten into their 40s and beyond, have had some use of medications or antibiotics along the way, or they have had some exposure to everyday toxins in our environment that have built up over many, many years in the body. So we have to understand on a deeper level that it's probably not going to be enough just for you to start eating optimally, getting the right amount of sleep, and starting to get more exercise. Of course, these are baseline principles that have to be followed, and they are going to help you over time, but they're probably not going to be enough to get you back to feeling like your optimal energetic self again, feeling vibrant, feeling focused, feeling like when you get out of bed and you've had a full night's sleep, you should be energetic and you shouldn't feel lethargic, tired, like you can barely get going with your day. So we need to be thinking of how this can happen. And so some of the things that need to take place for you to understand what's happening with your gut function is you need to work with a functional medicine practitioner such as myself to do the proper lab testing, because lab testing is what will reveal to you what actually is happening inside your gut. Again, it needs to be broken down. How are you digesting? How are you absorbing? Is there a toxin load? Is there a bacterial load or imbalance in your gut that needs to be rebalanced before you can actually have all of those awesome lifestyle principles that you might be starting to fall into actually take hold? And so this is one of the main steps. The other step sometimes I do find is for women, they don't necessarily always need to do this advanced lab testing right away. Sometimes some of those baseline principles actually have to involve just slowing down a little bit, taking the time to sit down at the table, maybe sit down with someone, have a bit of a positive conversation over your meal, and eat those healthy foods and take the time to chew them and digest them properly. So sometimes there's just these basics that we're missing that isn't allowing us to digest and absorb our nutrients properly. Try to make sure that you're not eating when you're under stress. Try to make sure to the best of your abilities that you are buffering and lowering the stress in your life as much as possible. Because I do find stress is one of the biggest disruptors, especially for females in this age group, of their digestion. I find many women are under a ton of stress. They've got so much going on. They're, dealing with their work, they're managing their everyday life that way. They're managing their home life. They might be managing relationships at home with family, with a partner, might be managing, dealing with aging parents, aging family members, people that are unwell, that are close to them. So this is not uncommon to be happening in this aged group, in this time of life. And so sometimes the stress bucket can feel like it's just overflowing. So it's really important to just first recognize this and recognize that even if you think you're good at managing it and handling it all the time, you might still need to take the time to start really lowering your stress as one of the first steps to helping you digest and absorb your nutrients properly. And this might be even a more important step than actually getting you eating a perfect diet all the time. So, some things to keep in mind to help you start to really get back that zest for life, that energy returning more consistently versus not at all, or just coming and going. And it's very up and down in time with your cycle. Another thing to recognize is that as the hormones shift, as we do get into this perimenopausal time of life, or that shift towards and into menopause, is energy will be lower for women when the hormones are out of balance. So it's natural for the hormones to be lowering and changing in this time period of life. Our female sex hormones, estrogen and progesterone, are automatically going to lower. But this doesn't mean that we have to be debilitatingly fatigued because our hormones are lowering. So I do find that women that have hormone imbalance within this time period of life as the hormones lower are the ones that tend to get more symptomatic. And so there's many things that can cause the imbalances in these hormones. And definitely some of those things are what I just spoke about. Stress is often one of the most common reasons why the hormones get out of balance for females in this time period of life. Can be other lifestyle issues such as not sleeping properly, not getting proper nutrition, those types of things, maybe not exercising enough. So there is some of those baseline things that we do need to keep in mind throughout this time period of life. But again, if the hormones are out of balance, you're going to feel more fatigued. So it is a clue to you that another thing you're probably going to need to look into if you are starting to put these lifestyle principles into place, but you're still feeling tired all the time, is that you're going to have to work with, again, someone like myself, a functional medicine practitioner, to understand not only how out of balance are the hormones, but what is causing it, what is triggering it. And then once you can discover this, it's easier to put together a plan to help your body start to heal. And it's never going to be just about the hormones. It's never going to be just about that one marker that you saw in your lab tests. It really is going to involve a comprehensive plan, a comprehensive look at your health history, and a way to really navigate through this to help you develop a plan for long-term health and long-term healing. And through this, I find most women, if not all that I work with, get that energy back. The brain fog lifts. They sleep better. They feel better. They're happier. They're enjoying life again. So if you're interested in learning more about this, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to help you learn what you could discover with working with a functional practitioner such as myself to start regaining your energy, your vibrance, and your life again. You can reach out to me at my website, www.angelasimpsonfunctionalmedicine.ca, and I'd be happy to book a free complimentary consult with you to speak about this and see if it could be a good fit for us to work together to help you optimize your health. So thanks again for being here. I look forward to sharing more videos with you on my YouTube channel. Take care. Bye for now.